It's Tabletop Day!
Yay! And we're gonna share our current obsessions when it comes to tabletop games. So the first game we're going to talk about is something that we've been playing since October. Kind of obsessed with. It's called Betrayal at House on the Hill. Basically, you reveal rooms and different things happen in these rooms, and at a certain point in the game, someone reveals the haunt.
So basically everybody's on the same team at first.
At first. It's a co-op? Would you call it a co-op
Yeah, it's a co-op game.
So good.
Yeah, so like I said, recommend that game.
Yeah.
So my first game that I like to talk about, the current obsessions, is Smashup. Smashup is a card-based game where you get to pick two different races or factions, if you will, from plants to zombies to robots, steampunk, leprechauns,
Ooh, I had
ghosts, zombies. Anyway, you pick two of them, you combine the decks, and that's your deck. The deck basically is used to dominate locations.
Actually pretty simple.
Yeah, it's a really simple game. The cool part is the game has so much variety, especially with the expansions that came out with it. Science fiction double feature and the awesome level 9000. There's also a Cthulhu one. I'm not a huge fan of Cthulhu, so I don't go out of my way to get Cthulhu things. Not to say that I don't play, because definitely I play some Cthulhu things. But I just haven't gotten that expansion because I just haven't gotten there yet. One of the things that was really nice about Smashup, they actually thought ahead and be like, hey, we are making expansions and we are going to have space for them in your main box. This game is a lot of fun, easy to play, and I actually recommend it. It's one of the games I've been playing a lot of, and it's a lot of fun. You should go out and try it.
So the next game I'm going to talk about is Takaido, and we were introduced to this game by one of my coworkers, my friends, and it talks, so you're in, what does it say? You're in Takaido, and so there's this road that brings you from Kyoto to Edo, and obviously Japanese, very pretty kind of
very
game.
Clean.
What you want to do is basically have the most awesome trip ever. So you're gonna do things like you're gonna eat and go to the temple and paint things and meet people and shop, and it's just kind of fun.
There's an expansion for Takaido, and the cool thing is
Crossroads.
This adds a different element to it, so you actually have choices versus before where you didn't have choices. For the hardcore gamer, this would be probably the better fit for you.
And you can gamble.
Yeah, so they added the dice and added some fortune cards, which actually makes this game a lot more fun. I mean, I'm saying that the game isn't, without the expansion, fun, but the expansion for hardcore gamers probably makes the game.
It's a nice game.
Right.
I recommend.
The next game we're going to talk about is one of my personal favorites, and probably a lot of yours. I know a lot of people talk about this game, and just cause, because it is an amazing game. It's a lot of fun, a lot of backstabbery, if you will.
What is it?
It's called King of Tokyo. You play these kaiju, such as Gigazar, which is the equivalent to Godzilla, and the King, which is like King of Kong. King of Kong. King of Kong, that's a movie.
And the bunny.
Oh, and her favorite character is the Cyber Bunny.
Yep.
There are all different kinds of characters, and basically you are trying to be the King of Tokyo. The game itself is pretty easy. There's not much to it other than you play with your cards, roll a bunch of dice. There is an expansion which makes the game so much better. If you're going to get King of Tokyo and you just want to try it out, then you can get the base set. But for the hardcore gamer, the power-up expansion is where it's at. You get these powers, and every time you roll 3 hearts, even if you don't heal, you get a power for your character. And there's character-specific powers, so you don't grab from a random pile except for your random pile. And you are either giving a temporary power or a permanent power, depending on which card you take.
And they're called evolutions.
So your creature evolves, and it's actually makes the game more dynamic, so it changes the way the game's played. They also add
Pandakai
as the new character for this set. Now, That being said, this expansion is a must-have if you have King of Tokyo already. It's that good.
It adds so much to the game.
So King of Tokyo actually has another expansion that I know of called the Halloween expansion. It's fun to have. It does add a different element to the game, but I think Power Up is the only one that you actually need right now. I recommend you going to get it if you don't have it, and if you haven't played it, definitely play it on this tabletop day.
So the last game I'm going to talk about is actually, what do you call this? A
fan-made
version of Love Letter. So Love Letter, if you hadn't played it before, you're trying to get your love letter to the princess, to whoever's closest to her, if I'm not mistaken. It's a fan-made version of Love Letter for How I Met Your Mother. I'm a big fan of the show, and no matter what you thought of the series finale, it's a great show, and I've enjoyed being on that journey. So the rules are printed on the bro code. The mother is
dun, dun, dun.
top one. Robin is next to the top. And then Ted is next, and then it goes Barney, Marshall, and Lily. This was given to me by my friend Bryan as a Christmas present, and once I got it, I was like, we have to play it, and it's a lot of fun.
So it's customly made, so you can't actually buy this version of the game.
Yeah, apparently he made it. I don't know where he got these. So I forget what the little tokens are in Love Letter that help you rack up points, but for this How I Met Your Mother Love Letter, they're yellow umbrellas, which is really cute. They're so cute.
So thumbs up if you like How I Met Your Mother, even if you didn't like the finale.
I need to rewatch all of it, though, to see how I really feel about the last episode. That changed everything. But yeah, this is one of my current obsessions when it comes to tabletop games.
The last game I'm going to talk about is a lesser-known boss monsters game that's fairly new. An expansion did come out for it, so it's not that new. However, this game was originally a Kickstarter game, and I actually didn't know it was a Kickstarter at the time, but I saw this in a game store and I bought it on a whim because it actually has a classic Nintendo cartridge look to it, which I love classic retro games, and it drew me in right away. So it has that 8-bit, 16-bit feel. You play a boss monster, and your goal is basically to prevent people or heroes from taking your loot in your castle or your dungeon, where the other boss monsters are actually trying to help them get through your temple
these cards are fun.
Yeah, get through your dungeon. Now, and you're trying to do the same thing to them. If you take enough damage, you die, and each of the boss monsters actually have their own special abilities, and there's the heroes that actually have their special abilities. It's 2 to 4 players. It's actually a lot of fun, so you're basically trying to create your dungeon at the same time, so it gets harder for the heroes to get through. The expansion I actually just got, and it adds things. I'm guessing it's tools of the hero kind. I'm guessing this empowers the heroes to get to the bosses faster. So I'm not too familiar with the expansion, but I will be playing it today on Tabletop Day. So that being said, this game is a lot of fun, the basic set. I'm hoping the expansion actually adds a depth that changes the game a little bit. But it's a lot of fun. I highly recommend that, especially for a retro gamer like myself, that this appealed to me. Anyway, that's all the games we have that are current obsessions for this Tabletop Day. And if you liked any of these games, comment below. Tell us what your game obsession is right now, or give us a comment below if you liked these games in particular. Maybe these are your obsessions already.
Or if they're not, if you have thoughts about some of them and you're like, you're wrong, I hated that game. Comment below. Let us know.
Yeah, I would like to know the reasons for that. I will see you on the flip side.
Happy Tabletop Day!